Welcome! Today I'm going to show you how to build a Pitfire kiln out of an oil drum. It is, in my opinion, one of the most fun ways to fire pottery, and I love the outcome of it. And another important thing is, it's one of the cheapest ways that you can ever build your own kiln, depending on how much you have to pay for the oil drum. So let's get on with it. To build the kiln, first of all, you need, of course, the oil drum. And there are at least two different kinds of oil drums that you need to be aware of. I like these big ones. I think they're 200 liters and about 55 centimeters wide and 89 centimeters high. And so it's nice and big, and you can have a lot of pottery in that. But one thing you have to be aware of is that one kind have the lid sort of welded onto it or hammered onto it, and you can't really remove it, so you need to cut it off. That doesn't work for the Pitfire kiln. This one have this, I don't know what you call it, but you can loosen the lid like this. You can take this off. We're not going to use this, so you can throw that away. And now the lid is easy to take off. So we can take it off, and we can put it back after we're done with the initial fire. So that's the basic. Then you need a couple of tools. It's actually very little. You need a drill, and you need some good drill bits. I found that even though this is not steel, it's just iron. So most drill bits will be able to go through this. But what I found is that it's so much easier if you invest in some steel drill bits. This one was quite cheap in a builder's market because it just goes so much easier when you drill it. I use the biggest ones in the kit. I think it's 10 millimeters or 1 centimeter. That seems to be sufficient. So what we need to do is we wanna drill some holes to be able to get some suction, some air into the oil drum when we fire it. So what I'm doing, and I found that to work really well, is I drill a few holes at the bottom, and I drill a few holes relatively low, so about 5 centimeters, and I'm going to show you later why. And then I'm going to drill some a little higher up here. So let's get on with that. Oh yeah, one thing, when you do drill this, remember to wear a mask, because sometimes these metal pieces fly out, and you definitely don't want to get that in your eyes. So be careful with that. I also use some gloves because, again, it can be a little bit sharp and stuff, so you don't want to hurt yourself. So let's get on with the drilling. Just to make sure that it's not moving too much around when you're drilling, I usually take a couple of stones and put them on each side of it. Then it's kind of stable. And just gonna take the safety glasses on like that. And now we're ready to drill. Now, I just made 3 of them, but I mean, you can make some more if you like. The more you make, of course, the more air you're going to suck in. However, I'm also going to do some on the sides, so I found that just a few holes down there is enough. I'm going to drill just a couple more. So I think that's it for the bottom for now. The next step is to drill the holes in the side of it. And for that, I find that it's easiest to put it on the ground, because that way you can apply some pressure. This just makes the drilling a whole lot easier. So let's get on with that. As I said, I'm gonna drill some holes that are just 5 centimeters or something above the button, and then I'm going to drill some that are maybe 20 centimeters. And in the end of this video, I'm going to show you why. That's it. Now you have your kiln. It's that easy. It only takes you a few minutes. There's, however, a few things that I recommend that you do, that I always do. I mean, basically, this is ready for fire. But this one, as you can see, this one, I don't know if you can see it, but this one had paint inside. So there's some leftovers of this paint. I mean, you could go ahead and just fire it because it's going to burn away. You can also put a little bit of gasoline or some wood or something and fire it, and it will go away. It will be blackened inside, of course, but it will be that eventually anyway. But we don't really need to do that right now because I'm going to show you a couple of tricks that I'm using. Now the challenge in doing Pitfire is to get it warm enough. We want the temperature to be as high as possible. And to do that, we need oxygen. We need some air to flow into the oil drum. That's why you drill the hole. But since we're going to pack it sawdust and firewood and stuff like that, if you put it at the bottom, the suction from the holes in the bottom is not going to be as efficient as it could be. So what I found is that placing a grit, and I can't remember what this is not. It's a bonfire grit. It's made of cast iron. So it will sustain the heat of the fire. It's made for fire. That's just called, it's not for heat fire at the so or meeting. Very cheap fat, very solid cast iron, and this is gonna last on the flavor. And this one was only 400 Danish kroner. What is that? $30, $40. Gonna have that. It wasn't that expensive, and it's gonna last and no flavor. And about this, you can actually you can put these header done. It makes it very convenient to put it into the stick. I already have one there you for my butter. This one has been used 10 times and it's been used. It gets dirty or stuff, but this is just ashes. The iron is gonna last you almost a lifetime. And these handles are very convenient because that way you can just, very convenient. So what I do is I place a cover of fire bricks, and they eat the fire bricks because they use to sustain the heat. I got these hybrid building projects that I'm also working on. So I put the fire brick into the oil drum. So that's this is the reason that I drilled the holes about 5 centimeters by the button and another rounded them a little higher, because now you see the lower hole below the grid and the high hole are above the grid. And in my experience, that gives the best airflow. So it works out great for me. So you can try that. So now, you ready? Was this fast? This only took me like 5 minutes or something, and it's ready to find out. Except for one thing, and that is the location and the placement of the oil drum. So let's take a look at that. To secure best airflow, this is something that is crucial to getting the maximum heat in your front. I like to raise the armpit. You can use normal stones like this. You're not going to get that almost there, so leave it to some time so over. And so they work. It's not the perfect way. Big space on there. So that's it. I see there's some space in here. We hope the deck will. Let's remember, I keep this outside all year round. It will rust for your time, but they last. I mean, the one I have here next to me lasted a couple of years, and they're so fast to make. So you don't have to take too much care of them. Buy a new one if it's worn out. The grid inside they last almost forever. Just remember, keep the lid on. Because you don't want to be filled up with water. It's much easier than leave it like that. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed it and learned how to make your own kiln. It is, as I said, super easy. I have been lucky enough to find these on flea markets and the second-hand shops and stuff. They use them in industrial use, car makers and so on. And I paid only, I think, $10-20 for these barrels. So they're very cheap to get. This weekend, I'm going to see some Pitfire. Have a lot of pucks that are already busy, ready to go. So I hope to see you soon again. And remember, this was just a short introduction to Pitfire. So please subscribe here to be notified about my new course about Pitfire. I will take you through all the details in much more detail than I could cover in this video. And if you're watching this video after I put out the course, there will be a link down here in the description. But until then, please subscribe and share, write a comment if you have anything to say. I'm looking forward to see you again.